grateful for this day. We're grateful for an opportunity to be here like you. Father, we're grateful for all our professors who sacrifice to help us succeed. Please help us have a great night and learn what we need to learn from this class. And we're thankful for all our many blessings. And we say this in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
So this class is all about helping you to get an internship and eventually a full-time job. So we just always have to be really flexible to make sure that we're giving you the information you want. So we are going to get LinkedIn in a minute, but first we want to talk about the New York trip. Because though there are many of you who want to go, you need the information. So, great.
Yeah, so this is just a FAQ for some questions a lot of people have about the New York trip. We won't go through everything right now in this class for, but this will be posted onto Learning Suite, just has some basic questions a lot of you have. The main thing to highlight is just on travel. Everyone has to buy their own ticket to get out to the trip, so the sooner you buy the ticket, the better. It'll be cheaper. The events are Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Most people just attend Thursday and Friday sessions, which is mainly the investment banking and markets events. There's also hedge fund and asset management events on Wednesday, and a LDS professionals dinner with Elder Tom Perry on Tuesday night. So yeah, most people will fly in Wednesday night and Thursday morning on the Red Eye and JetBlue. If you want to attend the trip, that's the ticket that would be the best to buy. And again, if you have any questions, a lot of them will be covered on here. And our information is up on the top left. If you have any questions, you can just let us know at BYUfinance.us. And then we can also just kind of run through the basics of what the trip will be with him as he comes up here.
Okay. This will probably look like a lot of small print on the page, so let me walk through this a little bit. The event will start on Tuesday night in October, and it's the LDS Professional Association in New York City. Other places called BYU Management Society, but New York one will be more inclusive. And it's their annual meeting of the association. Last year, Clayton Christensen was the guest speaker. This year, it's Elder Tom Perry, the father of the dean of the business school. That's a fantastic opportunity for networking in New York City. There's probably about 200 to 300 people that normally come to dinner every year. And students are welcome. If you want to come, the dinner is subsidized. Typically, the dinner will be $60, $70 for you. It's in the order of $15 to $20. So it's a pretty healthy subsidy. Beginning the next morning, part of the group will be in Greenwich, Connecticut, talking to people at hedge funds and fund of funds. Another part of the group will be up in Boston talking with hedge funds, with asset management and mutual funds. So those will be two groups that will funnel them together on Wednesday evening. There's very cheap and convenient ways to get from Boston down to New York, and from Greenwich into New York. Now Thursday morning, beginning Thursday morning at 8 o'clock in Cerberus, which is about 53rd and 3rd Avenue in Manhattan, there'll be non-stop companies coming to present to us. So there's probably have 3 conference rooms at a time. So 3 presentations occurring simultaneously. We'll have the list of companies available within a week or so. You can start to get homework about which ones you want to talk with. So that'll be on Thursday and also on Friday. During that same time, we'll also take a trip to Goldman Sachs, to Morgan Stanley, and Credit Suisse. For those that are interested in the banking track and markets track, we'll have a variety of markets people come to service to make presentations. So I'm sure you'll have questions. Please send them to Trey or me. We're trying to put them up on the FAQ as quick as we can. The idea is for you guys to learn a lot and have a great experience. How many of you have been to Manhattan already? How many of you had meetings with potential employers or people involved in the finance? Yes, the rest of you have been to see Les Mis and Wicked and stuff like that. We will not be buying you tickets, but if you'd like to go on Wednesday night or Thursday night, we probably won't have anything scheduled. The only thing we plan is we start at 8 o'clock every morning, so we expect everybody to be there. So if you want to start buying your tickets, one of the reasons we moved it from November to December from November to October. I'm sure last 2 years have been a little more. This saves money on plane tickets. Trying to make it as cheap as possible. If you have any questions, let me know. And we'll start again Tuesday night.
Okay, so I didn't bring Robert this time to talk to you about the bridge, but I do want to talk to you about LinkedIn. The question is, she said, how many of you said link it to the bridge? It's pretty easy to do. But the real question is, how many of you have a LinkedIn profile already? Everybody. Why does everybody have a LinkedIn profile right now? Who told you to go ahead and do that? Anybody tell you that you needed to do it, or that there was a reason to do it, or any of those sorts of things? You didn't ask me any questions. Anybody want to venture? Okay, it's a networking tool. That's true. Has anybody networked with it so far? Okay, so everybody raise their hand to have a LinkedIn profile, but how many people have actually networked or used their LinkedIn to make that happen? Okay? So those of you that have a LinkedIn profile, how many of you believe that your LinkedIn profile is stellar? 100% stellar. That means that any recruiter that finds your profile is going to know that you are the real deal. You're the one that needs to be picked up and brought into their country. Okay. More and more of our recruiters are going back, and they're telling us that they're going to go virtual. They're going to do activities that every class that you're involved with and everything you do associated with the Merit School. Our attempt is to make you a professional. To draw out of you that which matters most in the arena and the skill that you're going into. Our current dean has asked that our tagline for the Merit School is that you make a difference. When you talk to an employer in an interview or elsewhere, he's challenging employers, by the way, Dean Perry, and he has asked the employers to ask you a question. So how did you make a difference? So it could be any job that you have, it could be anything that you're doing, and that sort of thing. But he's challenged us in the Business Bureau to talk to the employers and have the employers challenge you so that you are ready and prepared to tell that story about how you make a difference. So on your profiles and everywhere and that sort of thing, you're supposed to be showing this brand, how you make a difference. Or you should have the Merit School in your brand. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. Okay, I brought this up last time when I introduced the bridge. I hope you remember this. This is part of the handout that we did, but it's part of what matters most to what goes on. All right? So we're sitting here saying 80% are looking at the social media for the right fit. That's in the middle, right? Motivation fit. 80% of recruiters say they're looking for the right fit. That's where they're getting it. And on the bottom is confidence. And you mentioned your resume is 60% of this equation. When an employer wants to hire you, he looks at your resume. That's 60% of the equation. The other 40% is in motivation fit and likability. It can be split 20-20. It can be split 5-35. It just depends on the culture of that particular company and what they're trying to do. LinkedIn gives you an opportunity to brand yourself with likability and fit in a way that your resume will never do. And that is why you're seeing a lot of employers go there. What's the first thing they want to see? What's the first thing an employer wants to see on LinkedIn? What do you think? It's picture, your photo. Okay? Go ahead. Okay, how many of you Googled yourself lately? Okay, you need to Google yourself. You need to find out where you come up on the screen because employers do go to Google you. Make sure you're for real. And also make sure they can uncover the dirt on you. If there's any reason to disqualify you, that's what they're chasing as they go through that process. Google says that there are certain authentic sites authentic sites that they research to get information on you. LinkedIn is in their top 10. In fact, most of you, when you Google yourself, LinkedIn is not on that first page, that landing page. So on, it's because you haven't built your LinkedIn account. Because the LinkedIn public profile should be loaded, and it should be no more than number 8 down the list when you're looking at your Google on those lines. Go ahead. Okay, this is I've already covered that. This is just to remind you, it's a pre-interview as they go through LinkedIn, and you're looking for that likability and that fit. Again, a reminder, who uses what? Recruiters use LinkedIn. Go ahead. So, we've got a handout that you'll get, but we're going to talk about the 8 points, how to brand your difference and how it matters. Go ahead, that's the full list right there. We're just going to keep going. Your photo, go ahead. Okay, guys, how many of you want to marry that woman? None of you want to marry that woman?
I'll marry her.
Okay. She's taken.
That's my daughter.
That's her daughter. Okay.
Super Apple right now.
And then, so you can see, she's got previous Apple. That was her internship. She is now working at Apple. Okay. She was information systems, and that's the reason why I know her as well as I do, because I work with information systems. Okay. So, is her picture, because that's what we're focused on right now, is that a professional picture? Or is that a glam shot? What makes a picture professional? Okay, you got to have a professional picture to put on LinkedIn. What makes it professional? Okay, you can say it's the dress, but that's not it.
Background.
Again, background, you got to be careful about what's in the background, yes, but that's not it. That's not what makes it professional. Okay, they need to be able to see the pupils of your eyes. Okay? They need to be able to see the pupils of your eyes. Why? In our world, in our society, and that sort of thing, what do your eyes do? How do you connect with people? How do you first assess whether you can trust an individual? All those other sorts of things. The first thing they want to see are the eyes. A professional picture is your head, and it's got your eyes. Yes, depending upon how you want to portray yourself and where you think you're going to work, you ought to probably suit up. You ought to dress appropriately, and that sort of thing. This is a professional shot. Okay, some people say, no, it's too dreamy, it's this or that or whatever else. It still carries the message of who that individual wants to have carried.
But is there anything you should do, like, choose, like, the background where you're taking your picture? Like, is there, like, you want to be nature or, like,
Okay, if you are applying for a job as a horse whisperer, then yes, you should have nature in your background. Okay? If you're applying for a job that's business oriented and that sort of thing, it's probably not a good idea to have your wife right next to you. Okay? And you looking dreamy eyes at each other. That sort of thing. You have to look at this. It's not Facebook. Okay? It's LinkedIn, and it's a professional point of view. You shouldn't have two there. You don't need to have a picture of the dog unless you're a veterinarian. Okay? They're just means and ways that you have to consider your professional persona and your brand and the thing that you're going to bring out. What evokes the response? Because some of you can take some pretty nasty pictures. Okay? So you got to think it through, and how do you want to engage your audience, and how do you want your audience to look at you? Let's go on. Okay, so somebody asked about the background, right? So this background is taken out in the hallway. This picture was taken out in the hallway. So in the background, he's in prison. Okay? But is that a professional photo headshot? It is, because you can see the pupils of his eyes. He's dressed appropriately. He's not looking at you funny. His face isn't contorted. All those sorts of things. Okay? So a headline, everybody understand what a headline is? Go ahead. Where's my headline? Next to my head. Okay. What is my headline? Okay, your name doesn't count. It's right under your name. That's your headline. Okay? Does that headline tell you enough about who I am, what I do? Okay. But does it give you enough of a clue to know whether or not you want to talk to me? Okay. There's another headline. What does this tell you about her? She's an MBA center. Maybe I want one of those. Right? Whatever you put in the headline is what you are selling. Okay? Whatever you put in your headline is what you're selling. You want people to grab you first. Okay? It's whatever makes you a superstar. All right, education. Go ahead. Who's that? Okay, how many times he got married at school in his profile? Two, three. Okay, why would he have it that many times? Probably belongs to the school, right? He's probably the dean and that sort of thing. We want you to brand yourself, you're part of the Marriott School. A lot of you may just say, no, I'm Brigham Young University. Did you graduate? What college did you graduate from? Okay, what degree? Things that you're trying to do. All right. Okay, you need to be a difference maker. That's the brand and image that you're supposed to provide. Okay, LinkedIn URLs. That bunker used to be here. This is a LinkedIn URL. It's a public URL. When you build an account, LinkedIn builds one for you. Automatically is there for you. All right, go ahead, next one. I guess I don't have the right picture in there. Okay, let's go back a second. Yeah, let's go back to the insert. See it? We didn't bring them out. Okay, so back in that bunkers. When you go onto your profile, right there, okay, you're going to be able to see your URL. When they build it for you, go ahead and shrink it. Go back. When they build it for you, originally you're going to have 5 additional characters, maybe more. Those characters are going to be A, B, 5, 7, 8, 12, or whatever, that sort of thing. That's your prison number. Okay? That tells everybody that you don't understand how to take control of your public profile. Because you've left your prison number, which is just a catalog number that they use. It's a randomly designed thing, builds your profile, that sort of thing. So the first thing you're going to have to do is hit this little edit button. Okay, and when you hit that edit button, it's going to allow you to edit that URL. And the first thing you can decide to do is whether or not to change your name. And then you can take off those letters and you can say that there it is. That's your public profile. The next time you Google yourself, that's what should show up, not the one that has your prison code. Okay? Contact information, make it easy for us to contact. Go ahead. Okay, how many of you are going to put your email address and your phone number up in your headline? Hopefully not a lot of them, okay? But if you feel like that's, I got to have it, you got to call me immediately, you want to stream it, I guess you can do that. But you don't really recommend it. But this is what he did because he wanted to connect with every MBA. He wanted to connect with the employers that were associated with that. So go on. So when you do this, you can also build in a tab that's called contact information. As you open up that, there's this little symbol. What's that symbol? Does anybody know what that symbol is? It's right in front of contact info. Anybody know what that is? Shout it out.
Is it a Rolodex?
That is a Rolodex card from a Rolodex. Now, wait a minute. Aren't Rolodexes watches? That sort of thing. You ever heard that people throw this around and say, you're not in my Rolodex? When I was growing up, we didn't have what you have. Okay? We had to write down on a piece of paper everybody's information. So they built this little file that goes like this. And you twist it. And as you twist it, you can see all the cards. And they had it A through Z. All right? You could stop. You could pull this card out. You could set it next to your phone, make your call. You could write notes on it, and then stick it back in your little Rolodex. A lot of times, in my generation, and so on, you'll hear the term, the reason that we hired you is because of your Rolodex. It's because you're connected, and you can reach out and touch people, and contact people. So your contact information is allowing us to reach out and connect with you. How many of you are going to put your birthday on? Okay? Some of you will and some of you won't. There's nothing wrong with putting your birthday in there unless you have to be old and gray haired. Okay? Then they might think that, I don't know if I want to talk to him. That sort of thing. Okay? He's got all kinds of ways to get hold of him. He also put his home address in here. How many of you want to put that in? It's up to you. Okay? He's made it easy, real easy for people to get in touch with him. There are other things that you can put in here. See, he's still in jail. Okay? He's still in prison on his public URL. But those are the ways that you can go about doing it, okay? Professional summary, 2 minutes, 30 seconds. Go ahead. How many of you done the elevator pitch? If I say elevator pitch or me in 30 seconds, everybody here has done it? Prepared it? Okay, you're going to need a separate class on that. Okay, so the summary. You get to write your own little summary. How many of you hate the fact that on a resume you can't use the word I? Okay, on a resume you can't use the word I, and it bugs you because you have to start with verb, right? Every bullet starts with a verb because I is understood. You can't use personal pronouns. You can't do all those other sorts of things. LinkedIn is supposed to allow them to see you as a character, as an individual. So when you write your summary, you get to use the word I. And in 2 paragraphs, and I wouldn't suggest that you take your resume and rewrite your resume, put it on there. But some people refer to this as the LinkedIn resume. Okay? But it's the summary. And in 2 paragraphs, you've got to pique my attention and capture my attention. I've got to determine that I like you, and I've got to determine that you fit, that I have a reason to contact you or to bring you into my organization or do different things. You can add pictures, you can do other sorts of things. Okay? And that's the LinkedIn specialties. Go ahead. It's another area. You can see where you use specialties in there. It's got software engineer and business intelligence engineer. Specialties. The whole reason behind that is that when they use LinkedIn as a search engine, they can put in keywords. If you've got that keyword in these locations, then of course you get picked up. So again, it's keyword searches and so on. And interest is the same way. Go ahead. Go back to Catherine. What's her interest? Just based on what she's got there, what's her interest? What's something that's different? Golf. Okay, golf association, that sort of thing. Why put that in there? Why would you put golf association in up there at the top? In the professional world, there's a whole lot of things. Some people like outdoors, marathon running, all sorts of things, and so on down the line. And in the professional world, golf can be your ticket to connect with someone. It's in a professional arena, and they're saying, I need a new golf partner. Or we need somebody that'll smooth the client. Hopefully they'll lose. Okay. Easiest place to connect, that sort of thing, tells you that you exist, increases your SEO. Okay, search engine optimization, that's that Google factor that I was talking about. The more you join groups, the more it impacts your Google, the more it impacts LinkedIn, and the more it connects you with a whole bunch of other people. It starts your network, okay? It starts your network. If you want people with common interests, join those groups that have common interests. Again, the main reason for doing this, you can do free in-mail. If you join a group and you're talking to somebody that's in the group. What does that mean? Well, I'm on LinkedIn. LinkedIn is my first circle of connections, right? No, LinkedIn is your first circle of connections, meaning your best friends. It's your second level of connection, meaning the friends of friends. And it's your third level of connections, meaning the friends of friends of friends. So, who here knows that they're tied with the movie star? Yeah. Okay. 6 degrees of what? 7 degrees? Okay. Does everybody understand that? That, again, you could be related to the prophet. If you go back and review, that sort of thing, go how many lines back? You can finally get in touch with the prophet, right? We're all related to Adam or Eve in some way. Probably both, Adam and Eve. But the point is, okay, there it is. And these groups, and the way they tie, it starts your network, and you can start joining those groups. Go ahead. This is just a subset of groups that I'm involved with. We do want you to join the Alumni Association. So, Mary School of Management, the official BYU Alumni Network, any other BYU Management Society that's out there, Finance Society, other organizations, those sorts of things. There are groups. And you should join those groups and be part of those groups. Here's the point. Remember, it was first, second, and third. When you want to talk to somebody that's in the third degree, you usually have to get an invitation to go talk to them. Meaning you have to contact me at your first level, and I have to say, okay, you can talk to the person. You can do a Mother May I sort of scenario. But if you join a group and that person's in your third, you can go directly to that person. You don't have to ask Mother or anybody else. Okay? So join the group so that you can connect immediately without having to go first, second, and ask invitation to do whatever you need to do. Okay? There's your assignment. Other than that, you have to click the little button. Once your LinkedIn profile is set up, you have to go click the little button on the bridge. You have the right-hand side. We'll change colors on you and say your link. That's how easy it is to get your LinkedIn profile linked to the bridge. Okay? Okay. 77% of people use it to research people and companies. So we're going to jump to LinkedIn right now and show you 3 searches. This is Travis who's sitting there. Every time I say jump, she jumps. So anyway, Travis has been working for me. He does great. He's in the master program now for information systems. Okay. So I want to connect with somebody. How do I do that? There's some people that you may know over here on this side. But let's go up there to the top. It's supposed to be showing you that little home, profile, connections, jobs, interests, that sort of thing. So let's go on to connections. And let's go down the bottom where it says find alumni. How many of you have seen this before and played with it? There should be a few of you that have done with it. Or whatever else. This is your quickest way to find out if there's anybody who lives where you live. Why connect with people right now? The bottom line is you want to find somebody who's already lived your dream. you're dreaming that you want to be in New York City, you want to be working for Goldman, you want to be working for wealth management someplace or whatever else, you need to go find the alums that are living your dream and doing those things. So, let's go back up where you can see the definition. Okay. So, there's the attended bar. Do you want to talk to somebody who attended BYU in 1900? Okay, no. So you can change that. So the starting year can be like 2000. All right, and it goes automatically to the year that you're in, but you can of course change it. And then you notice as soon as he made those changes, it changed all the numbers down here, right? Because as soon as you change the year, then the graduates or the alums change as well, right? Numbers, where they're at, what you're doing. Obviously, the United States is going to be the top arena to where you're going to go. So now, let's just start somewhere. Where does somebody want to live? Go ahead.
Seattle.
Seattle. Okay. Go to Seattle. Okay, so you're in the United States, right? Just say you're in the United States. Okay. Greater Seattle area, you can see he's got it up there. So, where do you want to work? Any of those? You're going, no. I don't want to do what this information systems guy is doing. Okay? I want this to just be anybody and everybody. This is built, okay, on your profile. Okay? That's what it's primarily focusing on. Alright? So did you choose for us? Okay. So now he chooses that. What do? They're either in accounting or information technology. Okay. So now he's chosen that. There's only one individual, it's Barry. Okay. So go ahead and open it up a little. There's this little arrow right here. Click on that arrow. What did they study? You want to know if they studied finance, economics, whatever they studied. You can choose that, whatever it might be, okay? What are they skilled at? This is important if you're trying to do Bloomberg, okay? Or if you're trying to do whatever else. Try to find something that connects. You got management, you should have asset management, other things, okay? Then it's going to show you how you're connected, where you're at. Notice he's got these group members, he's got third and everyone else. He's outside the circles. But there are the three people that are in the groups that he's associated with. You can click on any one of those three, you can send them a message, you can connect up and do different things. So the alumni tool gets you inside a company in direct contact with an alum of BYU, and you should use it. You should ask them the questions, especially if you feel that you have lived your dream. They can become your mentor, they can do things that you need to do. Okay. Okay, so over here on the right-hand side, when you select somebody, there's a whole bunch of fields that are going to show up over here. All of them are established for you to make further connections or to do different things. You're going to find out that it says up there similar positions to that of our economic group. And then you're going to be able to select any one of those and you can continue on, and we're not going to select one. I want you to go to this people also view. Okay, so if somebody views your profile, they've maybe looked at other people's profiles. So you can decide whether they're looking for a future mate, or you can decide whether or not, okay, they were looking with a purpose for somebody to fulfill a role or a position within their organization. They're doing different things. Would you want to ever click on somebody else that they looked at? Possibly. Okay, see if they're similar to you, see if it matters, how about all tie in, what they do. Over here, everybody gets excited. Okay, you can endorse people. As soon as your profile goes up, you're one of my friends, and that sort of thing. I'm going to get this little lock that's going to say, do you want to endorse this person? Because they know how to do X skill. They know how to do this or that. If I click that button, my little picture shows up and your account goes up. Can we help each other that way? Yes, you
Rebecca?
can. You can help your classmates, you can help each other that way. You can do the different things that need to happen. And this shows you, okay, how you're connected to the person that you brought up. Who do you have to go through to get to that person? Okay, you can get introduced. Again, if they're in your group, you can just go directly to the group and do those things. Okay? Who do you have in common? It'll give you a number and see how well connected you are with people. Okay, only one caution. Should you connect with everybody or link with everybody? The answer is no. You should connect with everybody on Facebook, right? Somebody would tell me, no, I connect with everybody in the whole world. Okay. But on LinkedIn, it's the same way. You don't connect with everybody. If they have less than 10 connections, you know they're either just getting started or they are fishing for your contact list, your Rolodex. Okay? Recruiters do this. If there are less than 10 connections, it's the person that's you're trying to connect to, or they ask to connect to you, they have less than 10 connections. Either they're getting started, okay, or they're fishing so they can build this new Rolodex. If they build a new Rolodex, they can get to some of your friends, and your friends may not like that. So you got to be careful. That's the only thing I would tell you to do. Other than this person asked for you, I would go click and see who are they connected to. If they have to be connected to 10 of your friends, it's probably a good idea to go ahead. Unless you don't like your things. Okay. So do those sorts of things. All right. So you can search groups. You can do that. If you don't want to do that, let's go over to interests. Okay, companies. Pretty self-explanatory. You can search a company. You choose a company. When you do, choose one. All right. It comes up, and over here on this side, it tells you how you're connected. It tells you if you're in your first, second, or third level. It tells you at the end, you can see the number of employees that are there. You can see all, and that's an advanced search. I'm not going to do that. But there are different ways that you can narrow all of this down, and you can do what you want to do. There's another thing that says careers. A little tab there under home. Careers. Okay. Up in the upper right-hand corner, it says you're either following or you're not following. So if it's a company you really want, you probably should follow it. Because a lot of recruiters are watching how active you are. A lot of recruiters are watching how active you are. So if the company you want, you should probably be following that company. You should probably be connecting with people inside that company. There are people who get a lot of money because they do internal referrals. If they refer you, that's why BYU alums are first to be might get contact. If they refer you, they're going to get some extra money if you join the corporation. But again, it just keeps adding, and things continue to grow. Do what you need to do. Okay, jobs. Do the jobs for a second. Okay. So you can search the jobs. You can do those other sorts of things that go on. Okay. One One thing that you should know, we don't have the slide up for it, that's the thing, but you should know this. LinkedIn doesn't put everything on this app, or they don't have everything on their web page that they're working on. They have labs. Obviously, they have places where they're testing out things and doing other things or what have you. Well, there's a lot of employers that want you, but if you go and look for a job, you're going to have to sort through all the needs that they have. So they're looking for experienced hires. So if you just want to be hired because you're entry level, that's their thing. So a place we can go to is www.linkedin.com/studentjobs. They haven't taken it down. There you go. Okay? Any job function. These jobs are what the employers who are using LinkedIn are posting. And they are for your entry level, and you can do them for internships. That's very thing. All right? Okay, I've introduced to you 4 searches. I promised 3, but I gave you 4. So I apologize for that. That's the power of LinkedIn, and that's where we're at. And I think we're going to finish right here. So thank you for your attention.
So before we let Reed go, did anyone have any questions that they wanted to ask at this time? Okay, great job.
Have these handouts, which you're going to get electronically, but if somebody wants to paper, that'll be the 8 things you can do for your profile. It talks about favoriting companies, or following companies. We're going to roll away. Have a great Monday.
Thank you. Oh, wait.
Sorry, don't have a great Monday yet.
All right. Technically, I have 15 minutes. We're not going to take that whole time. We've got question of the week. I just need 2 people that would like to try out for the question of the week. Got a nice prize for you. So, yeah, it's a not engraved on there, BYU pants, pen and pencil set, pretty nice. All right. It's not a hard question, it's actually a question that all of you should already have prepared. Really. Okay, who wants to go for it? Just need 2 people, come on up. Okay. I'm going to give you both the questions at the same time. So one of you has an advantage. Okay, so let's see. John, you got a number in your mind? Between 1 and 10? Okay, pick a number. 7, 8, 7. Okay, so you went. So you get to do this here. You have a minute to look at the blueprint. Okay. All right. The question is, and you're just gonna, I'm not gonna talk to you about it or anything, I'm just gonna share it. Share with me 2 of your strengths and 2 of your weaknesses. Be great. 2 strengths and 2 weaknesses.
So I believe one of my strengths is communication, especially in team settings. weeks as a freshman mentor at Brigham Young University, where we had to meet with students one-on-one and talk about challenges that they face. Another strength that I have is my motivation to work hard. When I work on something, I'm very focused, I put my all into it, and I do it until it's completed. And a couple of weaknesses that I have.
No, England. These are my question.
Okay, that's good. Okay, that's okay.
You can come up afterwards and tell me I'm really bad at
Tell me your name. Yes.
My name is Ben. I really feel that one of my greatest strengths is my dedication. When I set my mind to something, I'll do anything that doesn't make it happen. The greatest example I can think of for that is that I met my wife and we dated for about 6 months before she left on mission, and I waited the entire time before we got married. That was really difficult. Really difficult. That really plays into my employment and what I do at work. I'm very thorough. Another strength I know I actually agree with Luke. The communication is essential in the business world, and my employer compliments me on that daily. My ability to understand and follow up, so I feel like that's a strength to have. Weaknesses are difficult to talk about, but I would honestly say that my one of the biggest weaknesses I have that plagues me is I love sleeping, and it's difficult to be on time when I have an early meeting. So the way that I handle that is my iPhone. I set multiple alarms before I need to be there, so I can do that. So that's what
All right, heads down. Our first contestant was Luke. Raise your hand. All right, hands down. Second was Ben. Okay. Wow, they liked both of you a lot, but then you won. Yay. Give you a couple pointers on that one. First of all, I really liked how they related it to something specific. So they talked about what their strength was, and they backed it up with an experience they had, work, whatever. That was great. The weaknesses, okay. If you say you have no weaknesses, then it comes off a little bit as arrogant. You don't want to do that. You actually want to think about things that you're improving on to become better. So, I was a little nervous, Ben, when you're talking about being late. Like, I think it's okay to say you have a propensity to really enjoy your sleep. And you've been able to overcome that by setting multiple alarms, so that I'm never worried about it, right? As a recruiter, as the employer. So, I want you to think about your greatest strengths, something that you can say, and this is why this has been so valuable for me to have, and why it will be valuable for you in your company. And then in terms of a weakness, bring up something that's real, but how you are either working or have almost completely conquered that, so that is becoming less and less of an issue. Does that make sense? All right, great to be with you tonight. We'll see you on Wednesday.